Hi, I'm Lori Gambacorta.
And I'm Lisa Byrne, and we're the founders of E.P.I.C, Empowering People, Inspiring Community. And on our E.P.I.C Experts interview today, we're excited to have with us Christine Pollock and John Fick of Infinite Alignment. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
So why don't we start by you telling the viewers what it is that you do at Infinite Alignment and some of the things that you offer.
Well, our main focus is that we offer individual and small group transformational healing retreats. And we do this both remotely and on site.
Yeah, and really our purpose behind that is to provide anxiety relief through higher consciousness. And we do that with integrated energy therapies and energy medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And as the name of our business kind of intuits, that, you know, the infinite alignment is really about aligning yourself in your true divine self in every moment, and integrate body, mind, and spirit, and balancing the yin and the yang. So really bringing ourselves into authentic alignment.
Can you tell us each a little bit more about your backgrounds and the influences that got you into this work? I was, looking a lot of the information on your website, and it's really interesting how you guys combined and blend your skill sets to help people transform their life process to a better place. So give us some ideas of, those influences that got you where you are, and then how you two came together to create this amazing work you're doing.
You want to go first?
Well, my journey started, actually, Christine started this business way before I joined her about 5 years ago. But I started into this work spent 40 years in the corporate world, and I got into a very burnout syndrome. That, along with a series of personal losses, consecutive losses, I really developed this debilitating chronic disease. And I was looking for answers to get my health and well-being back. And I discovered meditation and mindfulness, and that's really started my journey. And ultimately I was able to completely heal myself from this chronic disease. And I can say confidently that has inspired me to help others that are in that burnout, that are in the stress, the chronic stress and anxiety, and the chronic physical symptoms that manifest from that. And that led me to my corporate background was in corporate training and development, corporate learning, and I was a consultant. So I did a lot of work with people. And so from that, I evolved into my coaching and got my coaching certification, and then married that together with just being just really interested in the mindfulness practice and the meditation, and combined those two things into a unique style of coaching. And then that's when Christine and I started to work together about 5 years ago.
Yeah, I've been leading retreats, probably for about 15 years. And, what inspired me to get into this work is that I wanted to escape the corporate world. It just got too overwhelming for me. And I just needed to do something different, really completely different. And I became this, what I call a weekend healing warrior, where I started studying all different alternative medicines and Ayurvedics and Toltec studies, esoteric studies. And then kind of what really pushed me over the edge was I took this trip to Bhutan, and it's just like, well, whatever you focus upon, you can make it happen. And I thought, what I really want to do is I want to move to the mountains and I would like to start my whole healing practice. And I did. I moved up into the mountains and I did a bed and breakfast and spa and retreat. And it's just flourished from there. And I have so much gratitude for, really going to that point of having to make a change in my life.
So you said you work both with individuals and you work with groups doing retreats. So why don't you share with us a little bit more detail about that? If I were to come to you as an individual, what could I expect, and what can we expect if we come to a retreat?
Well, right now our big focus is actually on our program, which we offer both individually and as a group, and it's called the Passage to Freedom program. And that can be anywhere from a 1, 2, or 3-day retreat. And then we do 3 months of follow-up or integrative work, because a lot of times you go on retreat and, oh, you feel great and everything's wonderful, and you get home and all the old places, the roots and everything go right back in. So it doesn't really become that transformational. So our Passage to Freedom, it supports people so that when they return back home, they're easily, the work easily integrates. And as far as what you can expect during a retreat, would you
Yeah,
like to
I really
touch on that?
it's the retreat itself. The 3-day transformational retreat portion of it is really our the one we use the most. That's very transformational. It starts out with a lot of assessment work. So we're working with people at a very individualized level, and I think that's one of the key things that we have evolved into, working very deeply, because each individual is so unique. So we do several forms of assessment. We do the traditional intake form and interview. We do what's called a energy profile, which is part of a unique part of my coaching process. And then the third thing we do is called a body field scan, which is a bioenergetic medicine system, a very sophisticated tool that also really can look deeply and tie together all these pieces of what's going on at a deeper, more subconscious level. That allows us to individualize our work and customize the many different therapies we do. And Christine
Right.
can talk more
So,
about that.
some of the therapies and that we incorporate is everything from, we meet people where they're at, and that's key. So you're not expected to be um, a long time meditator or anything. So we work with the breath work. We do sacred breath release work, meditation. We incorporate yoga and movement, neurofeedback, the bioenergetic frequency scan, the mindfulness coaching. I do therapeutic body work. And one of my specialties in healing is called the resonance alchemy vibrational healing. And some of the benefits here is that we can really target people's specific needs. And there's a lot of release that happens. And then there's a lot of embodiment, people really coming in to their own truth and moving forward in their life.
Yeah. So we have, and then we have some other, we keep evolving into these areas again that I think fit with where we're at on the planet right now. One of the areas that is a very big passion of mine is working with people outdoors, mindfulness practice outdoors. So we take people on hikes, we go outdoors and experience nature, and it's a great way to teach and embody mindfulness. So we take all of that. All of these different practices are very customized to each individual because we're working one-on-one. And we not only customize how we do those therapies with people, but we we change and mix and match things on
Mhm.
how we're doing, and even the order in which we're doing.
Right.
Mm.
And it's very intuitive.
Yeah.
And that, you know, that to me is definitely a gift that we are able to offer to people, is the intuitiveness of putting the work together to create a retreat that is truly healing and transformational.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the things that provides the structure to this, and we've evolved into a process we use, or it's a transformational process, and we call it ROSE. It's reveal, observe, surrender, and evolve. And a ROSE was something that evolved over time, and we started to look at how we were working with people and transforming them. And we use ROSE in a variety of different ways, in a very specific way, to a specific practice, to the overall structure of the retreat. And it really it has worked extremely well for us, and it is something that I think is very unique in what we do. So
And we keep coming back to that. I mean, people have found it uh, very profound, and they're using it in their daily lives and to continue the work, the transformational work on
Right.
deeper and deeper levels.
yeah,
Well, you're right on the intuitive path, because that was going to be my next question. Like, tell us a little bit about, the rose process that I read about. So
yeah,
that's great. I love that, you have the process that you use, and people are learning that when they're there, and that you have that 3-month program where you're following up with them, being able to go deeper and integrate. It's really important. As you said, a lot of times we think we're going to get this break, and, we're going to go somewhere for a 1-day or a weekend retreat. And when we come back, our lives are going to be completely
Yeah.
different and rosy, and we're never going to have to do anything again. And so having people that can navigate the process with you, and bring that back to center over and over again, is really
Yeah.
helpful. So
Yeah, and it
Well
allows
put.
us to take what they've learned and embodied in the retreat, go back into their life experience, and take a life experience that is really usually a pain point in your life, right? And we take that and use that as a practice, and a way to take and use those tools that they've been taught, and help them, guide them towards it, because it's a blind spot. They don't even see it a lot of times, how to do it. So they need help integrating, using those practices to really show how this can shift their energy. And once they see how these practices can be used to shift their energy into these places where they've traditionally been stuck for days, weeks, months, they feel tremendously empowered. And then they're off and running, and they can do anything.
And as you can imagine, much of the work is experiential for them. So it's not a matter of us teaching them anything. It's really a matter of them experiencing it and coming into that level of awareness so that they can embody it. And that's the key. Because intellectually, as you ladies know, everybody gets it intellectually, but bringing it into the cells, really grounding it deeply into our being, so that it becomes part of our nature and who we are, and really bringing that forth.
you talked. Sorry, maybe you guys don't hear this. You talked about, one-on-one retreats and small group retreats, but it also looks like you do couples retreats. So can you talk a little bit about that, and the benefits a couple can have from coming and working with you in their own personal retreat?
Yeah, I mean, couples, it depends. And people come to us and say, we want to come on a couples retreat. And we have to make sure it's not one person that wants to do the work. It's both of them need to do their own work, right? They need to both turn the focus to looking inside, instead of one trying to fix the other. And so that's the first thing. We really do a lot of screening to determine, and we have guided a lot of people back into personal individual retreats. And then some people come back with their spouse when they see the results, when their spouse comes home. But when they're both come to the table with the intention of really doing their own inner work, it's about creating that foundation of the inner work and then using the relationship to practice their own internal work and seeing each other as a mirror to their own personal development. And that's the inside out approach that we take with a couples retreat.
Yeah, and clarify, we don't do couples therapy.
Right.
This is really about each individual finding themselves first, and then how they come together as a communicating couple.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And what avenues do you guys use to educate people and find the people coming to you? Because it seems as if, you know, they already have to have a certain level of insight to even go looking for you in the first place. So, and I don't know, maybe you can talk a little bit more about your screening process. And you had talked a little bit about your intake, and, you know, we all get the interview thing, but the other components that you mentioned, like how does that all work in your process and your screening process?
Sure. No, that's a great question.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how we get our message out there is one thing, how we screen them is another. I mean, we'll talk about the screening part first, because I think that's a really unique part of what we do. Is we do set up a free consultation for people. And so we spend at least a half an hour, sometimes an hour on the phone with somebody that's interested in coming for a retreat. And we find out what they're trying to do. And that really determines whether, it's what they're trying, what their intention is, where they're coming from. Are they ready to make that shift to the internal focus instead of, maybe an external or a victimhood, for example, type of focus in their life? Are they ready to make that shift? And if not, there's usually an out of resonance. There's either a resonance or not on that call. There's either a match or not. And most people, when they get on the call with us, and sometimes even before the call, when they see our website, there's an immediate resonance. And there's a lot of people that come to us and do a call, and it's a 10-minute call, and they're ready to book the retreat because they just felt the resonance. And our website really does represent. We wanted to make it to really represent who we are and what we're, what the service of into the world that we're making here. So it's really it all people that show up are always here for the right reason. We never have that problem of the wrong people showing up.
Yeah, I used to have it was called the Blissful Spirit, and I always said to people, if you have found me, you're meant to be here, because I was very well hidden. This was over 15 years ago, when retreats were really, people didn't even hear about retreats or what was a retreat, and so it was. I always found that when people did find us, they were meant to be here. So.
Yeah, and the other part of your question, Lori, I think was about how do people find us? How do we, and of course our website, Google search, but we have a Facebook page. We do blogs. We have a newsletter, a mailing list, a very long time, dedicated tribe out there that we communicate with. We also do something called our virtual conscious community. It's a free twice a month 1 hour event that we have, and it's not delivering any of our services. It's more about getting our community together. Anybody in our community that wants to shows up, and we exchange our thoughts, feelings, concerns, especially during the challenging times we're in right now. this has been a really powerful community event, just connecting, and everybody expressing and listening and understanding where we're at. And it's also giving us a lot of great information as where the collective energy of our tribe is, to allow us to guide us to shift and evolve our services and how we deliver them.
Mhm.
It's been very
Mhm.
helpful that way as well.
Yeah.
Can you tell everybody how they can find you on the web and how they can get involved in these calls and your Facebook page, all those kinds of things?
Okay. Well, we have the Facebook page is Infinite Alignment, and the website is infinitealignment.com. And they can sign up for our newsletter and attend the free community session. As well, if they'd like to try the rose process, we have out there, if you go to the website Infinite Alignment and go to About and then go to our rose page, there's a really nice meditation out there called the Life Force Energizer. And it's a great introduction to our actual rose process.
Also,
Right.
another question, you talk about the retreats being very experiential, and also when you go on a retreat, it's a lot about the environment. And I was looking at some of the photos of your venue and it looks amazing. So can you talk a little bit about the venue and what people can experience when they come to do a retreat?
Yeah, well, on the individual retreats here, people have their own private guest quarters, with their own private bathroom. It's their own private suite. It's got a small kitchen in it if they like to use. And then we have the outdoors that we used, and then we have I have a specific healing space that we do work in and we're set up in. But we do like to incorporate, we're up at about 8,000,
8,400.
8,400 feet
Mhm.
here. We're up in Durango Hills and we have gorgeous views.
5-acre property.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of property, a lot of
Mhm.
quiet, contemplative spaces outdoors. And it's beautiful up here in the summer, as you can imagine, and really year round. So we have a great space, and it's about the experience of stillness and quiet.
Mhm.
And then we have local trails very close to here too, to take people to very inspirational meditation, outdoor spaces, and do our work with them there as well.
Walking meditations and
Yeah.
just actually using the healing power of nature and experiencing it.
Yes.
Mhm.
And just to follow up on the group that you're talking about, are these people that have already done work with you, or it's open to everybody? And I mean, I see that, especially at this time, anchoring the insights that we have really does take community. So is it mostly people that have already worked with you?
It's actually both. We have a lot of past clients that are involved in that, but anybody new that joins our newsletter, they're invited to this. If somebody wants to jump in it right away, they can send us an email. Our emails are on our Contact Us page, so they can join our newsletter or send us an email or both, and we'll get them right into the virtual community. They'll get all the invites for that as well. So, and it's really been a very, very healing experience for everyone, and us as well. It's been very, very inspiring to continue to do this work and inspire others to see through the difficult times and the opportunities that exist out there right
That kind of leads into the next question of what do you both love the most about what you're doing?
For me, I love doing the healing work and really making a deep connection, a really deep, heartfelt connection with people. Uh, and especially bringing them out of their environment and being able to really experience a whole new place within themselves and the whole awakening. Um, a great many of the people that we do work with, they have a very deep and profound awakening, and just watching how they transform their lives and they're empowered moving forward after they've come on retreat to make the changes that they need to make in their life. And just that real, really deep connection that we've been missing.
Yeah. And I would echo that connection part. I mean, obviously being a coach, that's why I love coaching, is connecting with other people and seeing the vastness and yet uniqueness, yet sameness. We're so connected, we're all the same, but we're all so unique. And to see the infinite, immense possibilities in each human being, and then seeing them when they feel that power of being able to shift their energy, becoming the masters of their own mind, masters of their energy, to know that they don't have to be imprisoned by their suffering, that they now know that they can shift their energy. And seeing that in people is just, it's like me re-experiencing it myself when I experienced it, and knowing it can happen. It's like being reborn again, to know that you can do that. And that just it's such an amazing experience every time it happens.
Yeah, transformation and helping people awaken is the most important thing on the planet right now, I believe. And obviously, people who get into this work, which very much aligns with the mission of E.P.I.C, have gone through their own process. And you talked a little bit about that. But if you were to look back and give advice to your younger self, the you that's already gone through the transformational process, what advice would you guys give your younger selves?
Well, really just basically being present. Just being present in every moment. And, letting go. Acceptance, letting go, acceptance. And listening more deeply, not only listening more deeply to myself, but listening more deeply to others.
Yeah, for me, it's about following your passion, which is, when I was young, way back in the day, it was all about, finding a job, a career, and making a living, right? Security. And the world has evolved a lot since then, I think, but it's about following your passion and finding purpose in life. I think that's so fundamentally key to us, especially in these times right now, is going back and doing what you love to do and not feeling, enslaved to a system to pay your bills. That's what inspires us. That's what expands us. And that's what I believe will make the world a better place if everybody is seeking that.
We can all be joyful amidst our times of uncertainty.
Yeah, for sure.
We're in no let's fast forward 5 or 10 years, and what do you each see as your biggest achievement or contribution to your community or humanity in general?
I think as we, as I get older, I think being able to share the wisdom and knowing that it really supported the awakening of humankind on the planet. And if not that, just reducing the level of fear and anxiety that people are moving in life from, unfortunately.
Yeah, I would echo that. Certainly, at least getting people out of a place of suffering and finding their own, expansion of consciousness and their own joy in life. But to take that to the next step and be the change that they see in the world is a huge bonus in all of that. To see that, to be able to look back and see a number of people that have done at least their own transformation and actually have been positive contributions to the new world that we all hope to see in the future.
Mm-hmm. The rippling effect. So for every person's life that we can touch, I mean, it just ripples out and supports a better world and a more loving, kind world.
Yes, we are with you in that.
Yeah, I think that's one of the largest spiritual lessons that we can all learn, right? I mean, and it's so simplistic. You throw the pebble in the pond and you see the ripples. And so if we can continue with that visualization as we're interacting with people and being present and doing our work, we'll definitely have a better world. So
Absolutely. Yeah, and thank you, ladies, for your epic offering. That,
Yes.
I mean, this is just a tremendous magazine. It's really the only magazine that I pick up and read.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So in these particular times where things are so challenging and there's a lot of anxiety, depression, we're in the midst of seeing violence erupting. What's like one quick tip or key that you can give people to sort of help deal with this kind of free floating anxiety and energy that we're picking up on?
Well, for me, it's always bringing your awareness to your breath. It's just putting your hand on your heart, bring your awareness to your breath, to bring you into the present moment and, provide some level of alignment to, your higher self, to God, creator, whatever you are aligned, how you are aligned. That would be my quick tip.
Yeah, mine is, I've got two here, but the bigger picture one, I think, is seeing what's going on in the world. It's like yourself as an individual, the human race is going through their suffering right now. And seeing this as for example, I see when I was sick, how it's become a blessing and how this can become a blessing to the planet, and know and trust that things will evolve in a positive way. And that sometimes we have to get pretty sick before something really significantly positive happens. And trying to step back and look at the bigger picture and not get caught up in the minutia and the details that's out on the media and the news and all the different varying belief systems and both extremes. And the more we get tied up in that, the more anxious we get, the more we try to step back and see this is a blessing to all of us, is one thing. So part of that is the surrender process, just surrendering to everything that's going on and trusting that it's all unfolding in divine fashion.
Mhm.
And that can significantly help with the anxiety.
Mhm.
Thank you for that.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you both for your time and your wisdom. And let's invite people to visit you on infinitealignment.com if they'd like
Yep.
to get a free consultation or join the group. And right now you're also offering online retreats as well, correct? So that we're
Virtual.
Yes.
Yeah.
changing
Yeah.
the times. So
Mhm.
people don't have to wait. They can get in touch with you right away and
Yep.
cultivate all of that inner knowing and inner peace through even doing an online retreat with you.
And we are open for business now with our personal retreats.
Yeah.
And we're not doing group retreats right now, but the individual retreats we are.
Yeah. Mhm.
They can just go to the bottom of any page on our website, sign up for our newsletter, and they can also sign up for a free consultation. There's buttons for both.
Fantastic. Thank you, Christine. Thank you, John. Again,
Thank you,
Thank you.
Lisa. Thank you,
Lisa,
Lori.
Lori.
please visit them at infinitealignment.com. And for more information about E.P.I.C, you can visit epicmag.org. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste.